today I want to talk about vocabulary, and this is a big area of concern for so many parents. Hi guys, this is Joycelyn. You know who I am, but for those who are new to the channel, my name is Joycelyn Akufo. I'm the Managing Director of Geek School Tutoring. We provide online tuition and face-to-face tuition at our centres in Beckenham and in Hithergreen, Catford, Lewisham area. Literally, it's on a strange sort of border, but basically, you know, I think you get the gist. So today I want to talk about vocabulary. So before we carry on with this amazing video, please remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications so that you will get notified every time a new Geek School video goes up. Enjoy! I like to start at year 4. If you're watching this and you have a child who is younger than year 4, that's fantastic for you, because it just means that your child has got even more time to follow the tips that I'm about to give. So a year 4 child, one of the best ways to help them improve and increase their vocabulary is something completely out of this world. Reading. I know you were not expecting that unless you've watched some of my older videos. Reading is crucial if you want your child's vocabulary to increase. And I use the analogy of keeping fit. Now, if somebody is having a weight challenge and they put themselves in a gym, the fact that they're in that surrounding at some point may motivate them to go on the treadmill, to go swimming, to do a Zumba class, whatever. You know, they're in that right environment to start changing their mindset around their health and fitness. In much the same way, if you want to improve your vocabulary and you want to expand your vocabulary, if you want to improve your word knowledge rather and expand your vocabulary, you need to immerse yourself in words. And where will you find the words? In books. Like, where else? It has to be in books. And the issue is a lot of children these days are just not reading as much as they used to, which means that they don't have the expansive vocabulary as the previous generations used to have because of all the reading. And it's quite interesting that you can have siblings now that have maybe a 3-year age gap, and there's such a big difference in their vocabulary because the younger generations are generally not reading as much as they should be. Why? Well, oh goodness, dare I say, technology. YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Nintendo Switch, PS4, you know, and all these other distractions tend to take over, and so they're just not reading as much as they should be or as much as they used to read, and that is what's causing this stifled growth in their word bank, their word knowledge. So if you have a child that's in year 4, get the reading going. I'm going to say something that might be controversial, but you should know me by now. I'm obviously going to tell you the truth. David Walliams, Jacqueline Wilson, they are books that children should read for fun. Yes, I said for fun. You know, literally you can usually hear children roaring with laughter, giggling and just being engrossed in those types of books. all the mischief and, just the mischief, basically, the mischief in the books, a lot of children find hilarious, and that is so beautiful. I'm forever an advocate of anything that gets children reading. However, what you tend to find is the vocab in those books are pitched at the right age, and children very rarely have to use a dictionary when they read those books. I guess they're not intended to be academic reading books, so obviously they're not really pitched at a level where children have to constantly get a dictionary, and I can understand that completely. The only thing is, for the 11 plus exams, children need to have a much higher reading age. So if your child is in year 5 and all your child is reading is David Walliams, then they're probably struggling right now as we speak on closed questions, SEM-star papers where they're looking at related words or synonyms and antonyms, word meanings, analogies. It's probably a bit of a minefield, and probably some of the more advanced comprehension papers, because they just don't have that expanse of vocab. So I always say to my students, look, if you love David Walliams, read his books for fun, but have a book that is going to help you with the 11 plus prep, the classics, the Michael Mapolgos. A lot of the children like to read the Harry Potter books, Terry Pratchett. There's just so many other more challenging books, but top of that list should be the classics, because it's quite a broad range of language use. You get the old style English, which, the 11 plus papers tend to use those passages because they're copyright free. Maybe I'll explain that in another video. It's basically free for them to copy a passage and use in their exam papers, as opposed to the more modern texts where the authors are probably still alive and they would obviously want some kind of monetary, imagine I'm doing a vocabulary video and the words, honestly, it's been a very long day, an even longer week. But basically they would want to be paid to use that, or their publishers would want to be paid. And so you tend to get more of the classics in the passages for the reason that I've just described. They're free to use because their authors are no longer in the land of the living. Now, what do you do when you have a child in year 5? First of all, you don't panic, okay? A lot of parents panic. Oh, my child is in year 5, especially during the summertime. They don't understand all these words, and then lots of word lists are bought, spelling lists and so on. But as a parent myself, and as somebody who's tutored like in excess of 100 children, even now we have 100 plus students at Geek School. When children learn spelling words, they learn it for the test. If you check their writing, you're probably going to see the same words they learned a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, maybe even just a few days ago, being misspelt. Because they're learning for the spelling test, they're not actually learning how to spell it. The whole point is getting 10 out of 10 on Friday or whenever the test is in their minds. It's not because they're thinking of applying that knowledge to their writing. And it can be a level of frustration for a lot of parents, seeing words that your child has done amazingly in, the last spelling test at school being brutally misspelled. Misspelled, and it can be a source of frustration for many parents. So what do you do? Well, in year 5, it's not too late to start reading those classics either. There is no book in the world in existence that can give you a definitive list of words that your child may be tested on. It's just not out there. It's not there. It really isn't there. Like, this is just a small fraction of the books that I have at Geek School. On the other side of this camera, there are a whole stack of books there. In front of me, there are stacks of books there. And if I ever open my Google Drive and my other backup drives, you would see literally thousands of papers and PDF books and so on. And I could not say to you the word absurd or antagonize or some other word is definitely going to be in any of the 11 plus papers, because nobody can predict that. The only people who know the words that children will be tested on for the exams are the writers of the exams. And some of the schools, obviously independent schools, you know, they tend to produce their own English papers. The verbal, yes, they probably use GL or CEM, which is being increasingly used. And so they know, but nobody would know. Even if you use the GL familiarization packs, and thank goodness there's so many of them, which helps children get used to the style of writing. If you got your child to memorize every difficult word in those packs, it still wouldn't get the job done. So what you need to do is more reading, so more exposure to words. And when the reading is taking place, I used to get like a strip of A4 paper as a bookmark. I did that for my son, who's heading off to year 11 now. Goodness, remember those 11 plus days. My daughter, who's heading off to year 7 now. We did the same thing, and you write down the words as you're going that are new words, and then what do? Use a dictionary, find the word, find the meaning of the word, and then reread that sentence again, and then gradually it starts to have a positive impact. Children are able to use inference to try and work out the meaning of the words, which is a crucial skill for the English paper. Crucial. And it's also an important skill for the close papers. I've seen children pick words that have literally nothing to do with the sentence in close questions, and they'll often choose the word that has basically the word they've never heard of, because they think, okay, I don't know the meaning of that, that must be the one. No. Anyway, so another important area to help with this is to teach them about prefixes and suffixes and root words, what they mean. Obviously, when you add a prefix or a suffix, it can change the word meaning, usually does. And prefixes in particular, you know, they tend to have a particular meaning they attach onto the word. For example, if you have RE and you add it to a word, it means usually the reusing or redoing. So if you add RE to cycle, recycle means to reuse. Just little tips like that will go a long way. And this will really help to increase your child's confidence in words. And if they can strip the words all the way down to the root word, they're more likely to understand the word meaning. And obviously an understanding of prefixes and suffixes will go a very, very, very long way. Also, one other tip that I have is that when your child is reading a book and comes across a new word, start using it. Start finding a way to use it in the everyday language, in the creative writing, because it will really help them to add it to their word bank. Otherwise, it's just another regeneration of, you know, what I described regarding the spelling list, where they'll learn it that instant, but then it will just evaporate. That knowledge will go. They're not really adding to their word bank if all they do is just read the meaning in the dictionary and then move on. It has to be a practical application of that word, and then it becomes a word in their word bank. And that's how you do it. So you can see why, if you're watching this and you have a child that's much younger than year 5, these are tips that you should start doing today, you know, and you will see the impact, positive impact it will have on your child and their learning experience. So that's basically where we are with that. So I just want to say something. Yes, there are 2 Geek School products that will go a very long way in helping with this. So we have something called the Vital Words Dictionary, and it's basically made up of words that appear in a lot of the 11+ papers, and it helps children learn their synonyms and antonyms. You know, it's like very quizzy. You can use it as a quiz. There are flashcards that will be going out soon as well, you know, and make them conversational. If you were to download the 11+ Vital Words Dictionary, if you make it conversational, you know, it makes it more fun. Please don't replicate that whole learning spelling lists approach in the 11+ prep, because it really doesn't work at all. It's just a waste of time. Better off just reading together and discussing passages and so on. Now, another product is suffixes, prefixes and root words. I've produced a guide for that. It's also available on the Geek School website, just like the Vital Words Dictionary, and it lists all the different prefixes and suffixes, what they mean and so on. And it's a lovely way to show children how these words can be put together using prefixes or suffixes and improve their confidence, you know, their confidence in understanding those words, etc. It goes a very long way, very, very long way. So I hope that's been helpful, and I'm always keen to hear your comments. So please let me know how you found this video, and if there are any other areas that you'd like some help on with regards to the 11+ prep. Very keen I am to hear your feedback. Please remember to subscribe, of course, and turn on that bell, the notifications, so that when I upload the next video, which is obviously going to be extremely helpful for you and your child on this journey, YouTube will tell you that a video is up on the Geek School Tutoring channel. So thank you for watching again, and see you in the next video. Bye.